Hi everyone, this is Balazs from RacingBrick and today I have the latest LEGO architecture set with me. This is the 21063 Neuschwanstein Castle. If you are not familiar with it, Neuschwanstein Castle is located in Germany. It was commissioned by King Ludwig II of Bavaria in the late 19th century as his private retreat, inspired by medieval legends and the music of his favorite composer Richard Wagner, so it's not an actual medieval castle. Fun fact, its construction was completed when the first skyscrapers were built in the USA. Despite its appearance, it was actually a modern palace for its time, featuring cutting-edge innovations like flushing toilets and central heating. Not bad for a fairy tale castle. If it looks familiar, that's probably because it inspired multiple Disney castles. Now let's take a look at this LEGO version. On the front of the box you will see the castle perched on its brick-built hilltop. The back shows another angle, a photo of the real castle, the model's dimensions and some highlight features. Let's open it up. The set has 3,455 pieces. The price is €270 or $280 and it will be available from the 1st of August, but you can already pre-order it on lego.com. You can find the link below. Inside the box we get 23 numbered bags, a few loose plates and the envelope with the manual. No sticker sheet inside. The manual opens with a scenic photo of the real castle and a short description of its history. Then we get a breakdown of the model's authentic details, first from the outside, then a few references to the interior elements as well. There's also a message from the design team discussing the build experience and highlighting one very fascinating number. This set contains 237 printed elements. Following LEGO's recent trend, the lead designer isn't officially named here, but based on the press pack photos, it appears to be Roxgalin Kobe, who also designed the LEGO Notre Dame and Eiffel Tower, among many other sets. And here's the parts list. Feel free to count those printed pieces yourself, but now let's get building. We begin with the base, and this is how it looks after the first 3 bags. There's a printed nameplate on the front, and the internal structure is supported by large arches. So far, it's mostly simple part stacking. The next section is more interesting. Those brackets have to be properly aligned to support the curved sections that follow. We begin to feel the number of printed parts that are used. The structure of the window is visible here, and you will get used to grabbing 1x1 tiles every few seconds. Even the round turret sections are printed. 10 Technic bevel gears fit surprisingly well in the design, mimicking architectural details. At the end of bag 5, you will notice gaps in the base's terrain, but despite appearances, the structure is very solid. This section is carefully engineered to use just as many pieces as needed, no more no less. Here's an angled assembly on a hinge with long slopes, apparently representing a path popular with tourists. Walls start rising on the northern side, where the exit is usually located, and the main entrance follows. By now, you've seen most of the techniques used throughout the model, a few clever tricks, but mostly a huge number of tiny repeated pieces. Now here's a little anomaly. According to the instructions, I was supposed to have a 1x3 green plate, but it wasn't in the bag. Instead, I got a dark bluish grey piece that doesn't even appear in the inventory. Classic packaging error, I had to borrow the green piece from another set. We continue with the segments of the castle, including an angled tower that connects to the main build with 2 bars. At the end of bag 10, we get an interesting part usage to build some stairs. Then we tackle a larger tower, this time using a wide Technic pulley placed between the 10 gears. By the end of phase 13, the full base is built, although not completely covered yet. This is the base of the central section of the castle where the throne room is located. As you can see, it's built at an angle compared to the rest of the structure. This small cluster of parts here represent the castle's artificial cave, which had waterfalls and even colored electric lighting, quite extravagant for the time. There's a microscale swan sculpture in the study, a representation of the sliding glass doors, and some sideways decorative elements, although they leave visible gaps between pieces. The chimneys are made of forks, yes, minifigure forks, and that whole assembly slots into place neatly. Here is the throne room, and we have some wedges added sideways on the other side for decoration. Here comes the rotated tower, then an interesting slot assembly, which is the base of this larger tower or spaceship. And now for the final tedious part, foliage. There are a lot of trees to build, and depending on your taste you can choose between summer and autumn colors. And with that, the build is finished. So here is the complete castle on its mountainous base. I have to admit, you wouldn't guess this model has almost 3500 pieces in it. The base measures 46 by 20 centimeters and the model is 31 centimeters tall. It's quite similar in size to the Notre Dame, which had almost 1000 more pieces and cost significantly less, 230 euros or dollars. So it's really hard to compare this architecture build to typical LEGO sets, especially minifig scale ones. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the original castle nor the specific building experience. My favorite detail? Those 10 Technic gears. I just love how they integrate so perfectly. The build itself is as varied as it can be at this scale, and I absolutely respect the effort that went into it. But personally, building hundreds of tiny repeated sections isn't something I enjoy. I know many of you do, I just don't. Then there's the price. 270 euros or $280 is a lot of money for a set this size. The Notre Dame had way more parts and a lower price. This is actually the most expensive architecture set on LEGO.com right now. Yes, piece count isn't everything, but for comparison, you could get the Artemis SLS, the Endurance, or several larger sets for less. Then there are some alternative brick brands popular in Germany, accidentally, that happen to offer the same castle for 250 euros with over 7000 pieces. I don't know anything about the quality or building experience, but this set will have to compete with that on the local market. I've seen some people complaining about it not being minifig scale. Well, you have to go way bigger than that. I'm not sure if it's really minifig scale, but with almost 60,000 LEGO pieces, if you want a massive faithful replica, you can find the instructions on Rebricable. I've added the link to the description. So, is this set worth it? Honestly, not for me. I wouldn't pay 270 euros for this, but I probably wouldn't buy it at half that price, simply because it's not my style of build. If it were priced like the Notre Dame, around 230 euros, with a street price closer to 200 in a few months, that would feel fairer. But that's just me. Let me know what you think about the design, the build experience, the crazy amount of printed parts, and of course the price. Let's talk about it in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe with notifications, as more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.